So let's dive in. Again, so glad that you took some time today in your day to hear more about security, simplicity, and scale, Jamf's 2025 commercial Mac focus. So, over the next 30 minutes or so, we'll take a look back at the announcements made at JNUC 2024 and what we've been up to since then to deliver on those promises, and also a look ahead to what's coming in the near future. So, throughout this webinar, you'll learn how Jamf can help you go further in your environment to maximize your Apple hardware investment, specifically the Mac, by leveraging Jamf's latest capabilities. You'll learn how to align deployment and security strategies with powerful new workflows and how to enable end user productivity without compromising security. So we chose to focus on the Mac today because our roots are in Mac management. And for more than 20 years, we've remained committed to that mission of helping organizations succeed with Apple. And again, we're going to specifically talk about the Mac today. Our alignment with Apple means that we can deliver the best possible solutions that make using Apple devices more seamless for your end users while giving you the power to be more compliant and secure. So, we're here to show you our latest management and security innovations so that we can continue to help you go further with Mac in your environment. What does that mean? So, going further means giving you the best and most complete solution out there. It means we're here as a partner that's focused on making it easier for you to do your job and making your end users productive to do theirs. We know your job is never done. It doesn't end once your users have a managed device in their hands. You need to make sure your users have access to the apps and services they need to be productive while also reducing risk to your users' devices, applications, and data. It's just day to day work that has no end, and it's really important, which is why we provide everything you need to achieve device management, user identity, and endpoint protection for your Apple environment, combining that innovation and expertise to give you the efficiencies that you need. So let's unpack what we've been up to since JNUC. You first heard about declarative device management in 2021 when Apple announced this evolution of the MDM protocol at WWDC. And since that time, you've told us that you want Jamf to add and maintain every MDM key in the spec. But MDM is complicated, it changes quickly, which makes it really difficult to react to those changes with that same speed. But this is where declarative device management comes into play and how Jamf is forging a path to meet your needs. Already, declarative workflows have enabled managed software updates and watchOS management in Jamf Pro, as well as responsive inventory by way of status updates in Jamf Pro and Jamf School. And last year at JNUC in Nashville, we unveiled Blueprints, a future-proof approach powered by DDM that allows for more efficient device management and workflow automation across Jamf products. So the introduction of Blueprints in Jamf Pro demonstrates how we can simplify complex management tasks through a modern platform design, redefining how admins manage device settings and restrictions. Instead of requiring you to understand and configure multiple settings individually, Blueprints provides a streamlined interface for device management that will stay current with Apple's specifications. So let me show you what it looks like. So welcome to the Blueprints homepage. At JNUC, we demonstrated a few key security workflows like passcode enforcement. So let's quickly review that workflow using a customized setup with Blueprints Builder to easily help you configure those settings. So first, you'll select Create Blueprint in the top right, and we'll give it a name. So from there, you can drag and drop components from our library to include whatever declarations you want to deploy. So let's simply find and drag and drop the passcode policy declaration into our builder. We'll click configure on that passcode setting. We're going to require a passcode. And we're going to set a minimum length, as our compliance guidelines tell us that passwords need to be at least 8 characters long, and then we'll hit save. Here's where the power of Apple's declarative framework starts to kick in. We've started with the basics, but as we iterate with Blueprints, we'll be building support for every property that Apple has added to the spec, like software update settings. which allows you to define the general behavior of software updates for end users, including whether the end user is permitted to install and whether they'll get notifications about the installation events. We'll grab that new component, enable those two settings, and now they're part of your blueprint, combining key management and security features for your devices in one spot. So we're almost done. We'll go to Scope, leveraging either smart or static groups, and we'll choose All Managed Clients. We'll review the settings we've created and the devices we've targeted. And when you're ready, you can click on Deploy. And just like that, the declarations are sent to all the Scope devices, prompting users to update their password if they don't meet the new requirements and preparing our devices for future software updates. The Blueprints UI will keep you up to date on the status of the deployment so you know when things go as planned and what devices are still pending. Blueprints are now generally available, supporting 9 total declaration types in Jamf Pro, with the long-term vision to support all Apple declarations as components within a blueprint, including configuration profiles. Now, of course, you're already very familiar with configuration profiles, so what's new about this? So think of blueprints like a recipe, and the components are the ingredients. As additional components are brought into blueprints, you'll be able to combine those settings in one place rather than a policy here or a profile there. It'll be much easier to compose your workflows and see them represented in one location. But what's especially cool about configuration profiles within blueprints is that it's driven by an entirely new capability with a dynamic user interface that allows Jamf to deliver new keys faster. We no longer have to prioritize which keys to implement based on use case. We can support all the keys that you've been asking for. So let me give you an example of how configuration profiles works today using the restrictions payload. So let's say I want to set up restrictions for Apple Intelligence. So we'll put in a name, we'll open the restrictions and hit configure. And let's just say that I happen to know the settings I want to select. But if I didn't know, the current macOS implementation does not support granular settings. So it takes a lot of work to modify the payload before deployment to make sure you're not sending a bunch of unintended settings. And if any of those undesired keys were deployed, it may require additional troubleshooting to understand why something isn't behaving as expected. Beyond that, the restrictions payload changes frequently with new keys added, such as Apple Intelligence, so it's costly to maintain and support. But by using Apple's documentation as the source of truth for this new dynamic framework, we reduce the opportunity for product issues, support all the available keys, and we can do this much more quickly. So let's look at what this looks like today. So let's go back to Blueprints. And we're going to edit the blueprint we created before with the passcode and disk access and software updates. And we're going to pull in a new component from the right side, the one titled Restrictions. When we hit Configure, you're going to see something pretty cool. So that list, it's a lot of individual items that you can restrict on your devices. It's long, it's super detailed with metadata about each restriction, but you are able to select each one individually, enable a given setting, or ignore it, and you get full control over device functionality. And we can make it easy and filter for the specific settings that you need. So for example, let's go ahead and we'll look at the filters here, and we're going to select Apple Intelligence. That's going to pull in the 5 unique settings that you can manage today with Apple Intelligence, and we'll go ahead and select the Allow External Intelligence Workspace ID option. Then enter our Workspace ID, which will then require a sign-in to make external processing requests. Now that single managed restriction is added to our blueprint, and then we can deploy. It might seem a little strange to be so excited about granular restrictions, but it's a big deal because we know you've been asking for an easier way to manage these settings, and Blueprints is really going to help out with that. So we're excited to announce that the beta for configuration profiles is available today, with 8 payloads supported and generally availability targeted for later this summer. With this user-friendly, powerful configuration framework, you can easily automate common workflows and orchestrate complex configurations based on your needs. We hope you're excited about it too. So we'll remain committed to a continued focus on the specific ways declarative device management can help you solve challenges and be more successful with Apple in your environment, including those configuration profiles that are delivered as legacy profile declarations. By building a flexible architecture and new services behind the scenes, we can be more agile and deliver same-day support of Apple's new features to you much more quickly. But the Dynamic Blueprints engine is just the tip of the iceberg in our efforts to bring you same-day support and empower you to go further. We very much recognize that you are the cornerstone of a rapidly evolving digital landscape, constantly juggling priorities and making quick decisions that impact your organizations. And all this comes with an influx of information alerts, updates, security vulnerabilities, and user requests. So how can we make that easier? Last year at JNUC, we shared our vision for AI Assistant, an intelligent companion that can answer questions about product functionality, your managed devices, and even explain and block detected security threats. Over the past 6 months, we've been working hard at turning that vision into a reality. Today, we're excited to show you how we've built AI Assistant directly into the Jamf Pro console in addition to Jamf Account, along with 2 new skills. The Explain skill helps admins understand complex Jamf Pro configurations, policies, smart groups, and automation in plain language. You can ask things like, how is this policy scoped? Or what triggers this automation? And get clear, concise answers. The search skill enables natural language inventory analysis so you can query fleet and device data without complex scripts. Just ask something like, show me the distribution of macOS versions, or which devices haven't checked in this week, and get instant insights. So let me give you a practical example of AI Assistant in Jamf Pro using the Explain skill. Let's say you've created a script, but you'd like to check it for vulnerabilities. So we'll open AI Assistant and ask, please check my script for vulnerabilities. AI Assistant does some thinking, analyzes the script. It responds that it's reviewed the script and has identified several security vulnerabilities, breaks down what those critical security issues are. So we'll let it do its thing here. Clearly, I was not very good at writing this script. Lots of vulnerabilities. It generates a visual of those security vulnerabilities too, if you'd like to take a look at that. And then it asks, would you like me to provide a more secure version of this script that implements these recommendations to help further reduce any risk? AI Assistant will help you with anything that you need, making sure that you're able to do tasks like create a secure version of the script, and it'll automatically implement those changes for you if you ask it to. So I do want to talk just a little bit about the single sign-on integration with Jamf Account, since it's gotten some attention and caused some energy within the community. First, we aren't replacing your existing identity provider. We want you to keep using your identity provider and federate it with our SSO integration so that your formerly just a monolithic Java Web App Jamf Pro instance can authorize against our platform services to gain access to new features we've just mentioned, like Blueprints and AI Assistant. We know this is a shift in how you're used to using Jamf products, but this new architecture is what allows us to deliver new features to you without having to wait for a major Jamf Pro upgrade and release. For most of you, this integration is just a one-time operation. But just in case you've got some added complexity in your environment, we'll be happy to talk through your unique situation to make sure that you can access all of these great features. As we continue to innovate, our focus remains on ensuring your devices are always known, enrolled, and managed with the highest level of trust and security. At the same time, it's important to keep your users productive and creative while also keeping them protected and mindful of their security behaviors. Self-Service Plus, also introduced last year at JNUC, is meant to do just that. It's built on the foundation of the classic self-service app, but thoughtfully redesigned to bring management and security together in one seamless experience. Self-Service Plus delivers all the functionality you rely on, consolidating everything a user needs, including all Jamf apps, into a single unified application portal. Currently, Jamf offers many end-user applications across management, identity, and security, all with a disparate experience that makes it challenging for end users to know how to interact with each app, and for admins who need to push multiple apps, maintain them, and educate the users on why they need them. This is in addition to the other applications and notifications that end users interact with each day. So, the intent of Self-Service Plus is to consolidate and unify the end user experience to maintain creativity and productivity. Let's look at Self-Service Plus in action. In addition to providing users with a company-branded, curated overview of apps and content, end users see all notifications in a single, trusted portal, including important security alerts from Jamf Protect. Employees no longer need to navigate between apps to find what they need and stay informed, but are instantly productive with a secure, personalized experience that establishes trust in a single, intuitive interface. This is generally available and ready to use in your environment today. But we're not stopping there. You just saw that we synced our password, which means Jamf Connect for Mac is one of those independent Jamf applications that is prime for integration into a unified end-user experience. By bringing Jamf Connect into Self-Service Plus, we're not only combining apps, we're reimagining how users interact with our suite of tools. The integration marks the beginning of Jamf Connect features transitioning away from a standalone app to function as an identity layer within Self-Service Plus. Our goal is to create a more seamless and efficient user experience, reduce application overload, and pave the way for new capabilities and integrations. By focusing our initial efforts on the core menu bar features, we're taking that first step towards our vision of a unified Jamf experience on the Mac. Okay, so let's switch gears just a bit. At Jamf, we've recognized the boundaries of what you need to manage have expanded. Security is a must-have, but it must be simple. And simplifying starts with treating security as an extension of management. You shouldn't have to be a security expert to feel confident that your data and resources are protected, which is why we will continue to bring security closer to the management framework that you know to empower you to go further. As we've talked about, the Mac endpoint has evolved, and as Mac adoption grows in the enterprise, so does our need to focus on both productivity and protection. MDM by itself is not enough anymore. Apple admins need an easier way to secure endpoints and prove compliance. Previewed at JNUC, Compliance Benchmarks is an integrated workflow based on the macOS Security and Compliance project and is now generally available within Jamf Pro, jumpstarting our ability to harden endpoints and delivering the automated macOS compliance that we've been waiting for, right where we manage our Apple fleet. So let's dive into what this means and how it makes securing Apple at work even easier. But since this is our first time using compliance benchmarks, let's quickly see how the AI assistant and its new skills can help. Rolling out compliance and restrictions isn't only about the configuration, so let's ask, what's the difference between CIS Level 1 and Level 2? All right, AI assistant is going to do its thing, and it gives us a breakdown of the differences between the two different levels. We find that CIS Level 1 has some basic security baselines, and we've decided that that's what we want to go with. So we'll ask for guidance on a phased rollout plan. Again, we'll let AI Assistant do its thing. Of course, we'll need to review this carefully, but leveraging the AI Assistant in this way can help us overcome the blank canvas to start a plan that helps sequence both technical and non-technical steps to reach our goal. AI Assistant will provide each step in the implementation plan. It will even give me a visualization and a timeline for that plan. You can see it's generating a chart here, providing additional steps and implementation tips. And then let's expand this to take a closer look. We'll look at that chart again. This might be a great way to visualize this and see what that department rollout schedule is. And if we want to get tactical, I happen to already know that macOS firewall controls are a part of these benchmarks, but how many of my users already have this in place? How big of a change is this going to be? No need for advanced searches, smart groups, or complicated reporting for an ad hoc query. We can just use the new AI search skill. So we've asked what percentage of my computers have firewall enabled. An AI assistant is searching through our inventory to find that out. Okay, something we're going to need to take action on, right? But I think we've got enough here to get started. So let's pivot back over to Jamf Pro to set up our first compliance benchmark. So we'll go to compliance on the left-hand nav here. Compliance benchmarks are designed to be simple. All we have to do to get started is click on an available benchmark template. All right, we'll give it a name. We'll give it a description that's already there. Aligned to our rollout plan, we'll also start in monitor mode only and consider enforcing once we build a better overall understanding of our status. And then we'll go ahead and choose a scope from our existing static or smart group and click Next. And from here, we can now select or deselect rules to suit our organization's preferences. Maybe we want to do something like allowing password hints. We can also customize values to meet our specific organizational needs. So let's search for that. In our case, we'll adjust the screensaver timeout to just 10 minutes to further limit the risk of somebody leaving their screen unlocked in public. Okay, so one final review to confirm our settings, and that's it. Setting up compliance benchmarks is really that easy, jumpstarting our efforts to create secure and compliant endpoints. Compliance Benchmarks is available now, integrated with your existing workflows with the same power and flexibility that only Jamf Pro can provide. It's that simple, and I'm happy to say that since we went generally available just a few short weeks ago, hundreds of you have already started using this capability. And with a median time to set up a benchmark of right around 5 minutes or less, we're excited to see just how quickly we can enable compliance outcomes, saving countless clicks and many hours of effort. So beyond secure device configurations, software vulnerabilities also pose risks to our organizations. Earlier, I mentioned how declarative workflows enable managed software updates for the operating system. But we also recognize the need to manage the risks associated with the applications on our device. So to help, we've strengthened app installers by using the malware intelligence from Jamf Threat Labs to preemptively scan apps before they are made available in our software catalog. This vital integration offers additional supply chain protection before apps are even deployed to your endpoints. We've also made improvements that offer greater flexibility with app installers. With direct downloads from the original software vendor, App Installers now supports additional highly demanded titles like iTerm, VLC Media Player, and more. And for all the apps in your app inventory, we continue to offer a vulnerability management capability that keeps you apprised of your most risky apps installed on your devices. Based on your feedback, we've enhanced our reporting to include seamless integration with leading SIEM platforms, empowering you to champion secure and protected Apple devices in your organization, strengthening your partnership with InfoSec to share insights, audit risk, and prioritize critical remediation efforts. Okay, quick recap. So far, we've discussed creating secure configurations with compliance benchmarks, deploying and automatically patching software with app installers, and reporting risky applications with vulnerability management, all with the goal of reducing risk while supporting end user productivity. But we haven't yet touched on identity and end users themselves. Earlier, Katie showed us the Jamf Connect integration that brings identity workflows into Self-Service Plus. By streamlining this end-user experience, we want to encourage organizations to adopt secure and compliance best practices with identity and least privilege on macOS devices. So here we provide a simple workflow for temporarily elevating standard users to admin users only when needed, to unblock productivity and save admin tickets and toil for simple tasks like changing certain settings and installing approved software. Limiting the window to make these changes ensures these changes are intentional, justified, and controlled. So this elevation workflow isn't 100% new. It's something we announced last year. But along with the integration into Self-Service Plus, we've gone further to enhance the logging and reporting capabilities through platform integration leveraging Mac telemetry to help audit when and how users are accessing your Macs, when new users are created, and when and what those users are doing with elevated privileges. So, launched in January this year, the latest iteration of Mac telemetry delivers value beyond authentication logging and auditing. It empowers IT and security teams with a rich stream of activity and performance data for applications, system services, and user interactions. This data unlocks proactive workflows ranging from monitoring your end users' digital experience to supporting incident response investigation while creating a system of record for compliance auditing at the core. And by extending our plug-and-play integration support to industry-leading SIEM solutions, our teams have made it easier than ever for you to get started with these efforts on day one. But it's not just SIEM integrations. Jamf also seamlessly integrates with a wide range of industry-leading security and identity providers, helping organizations extend the value of their existing tools. These integrations enhance visibility, automate workflows, and strengthen security across Apple devices, enabling IT and security teams to work smarter, not harder. And speaking of working smarter, Jamf's network relay capability, soon to be generally available, gives you, the Jamf admin, full control over getting new Macs online and ready for work from the moment they're unboxed. No more waiting on VPN configurations or workarounds to unblock remote connectivity. Now, your users can securely connect to essential services like MFA registrations, licensing servers, and critical infrastructure right away, without extra steps or IT bottlenecks. It's a seamless, secure way to bridge the gap between setup and productivity while keeping the onboarding experience effortless for your users. And the best part? This isn't about replacing your VPN or ZTNA. It's about making sure you're in control of your Apple device network connectivity needs, zero touch, right at onboarding. So, from compliance to advanced protections powered by Jamf Threat Labs, our mission is clear: keeping your devices and your data secure while enabling your users to be productive so that your organization can choose Mac in the enterprise without reservation. The Jamf platform offers a variety of powerful features tailored to specific aspects of device management, identity, security, and compliance. But day-to-day navigation of all the capabilities and features across Jamf's platform can sometimes feel a bit tedious. And as you've seen today, we've begun to make that navigation more seamless than ever before with tools like AI Assistant to instantly identify what you need to do and how to do it. But got one more trick to improve and streamline navigation, and that's App Switcher. App Switcher is a new tool to help you easily navigate between different Jamf consoles. By clicking on the icon in the top left, a modal appears with what capabilities are available to you from which you can seamlessly navigate directly to that capability. App Switcher represents another step on our path to platform and is an improvement designed to increase efficiency for admins managing multiple Jamf products. But we aren't done. There's always more to come. But we hope you love these initial steps toward an integrated platform that will help you streamline your workflows, reduce risk, and enhance productivity as you are being asked to do more than ever to support Mac in your organizations. All right, so just to recap, we've talked about extending the power of declarative device management with blueprints for faster and more dynamic configuration profiles. We've talked about AI Assistant to provide more reliable and effective intelligence than ever before, helping you streamline your day-to-day Jamf operations. Self-Service Plus with a fully redesigned interface to bring management and security together in one seamless experience so you can access all Jamf apps from a single unified application portal. Compliance benchmarks, giving you built-in automated compliance monitoring and enforcement you've been demanding. Answer the need for Mac telemetry by offering new and improved system visibility and logging of sensitive activity, even with third-party SIEM integrations. And last but not least, App Switcher and Jamf account, so you can quickly and seamlessly navigate between portals. Again, we aren't done. There's always more to come, but we do hope you are excited about these initial steps. All of the capabilities we talked about today are available with our Jamf for Mac offering so that you can customize your environment to your specific needs and go further with Jamf and Mac. If you'd like to learn more, you can visit our website at www.jamf.com or contact your Jamf representative. Before we go, just a reminder that JNUC 2025 will take place in Denver, Colorado in October, so please sign up today if you're interested in going, and we hope that you are. You'll learn more about all of these workflows that we talked about today and new innovations, plus be able to connect and learn with the Jamf Nation community. And speaking of the Jamf Nation community, if you're interested in connecting with local Apple admins, join or start a user group by grabbing this QR code to learn more about the meetups in your area. We hope you'll join us. I hope you found something in today's webinar that can help you in your environment and make your job easier. Again, we'll share this recording shortly, and please make sure to get in touch with us. We're always here to help. And with that, I'm going to check for any questions that have come in throughout the webinar and see how many we can get answered in the time that we have left. Thanks again, everyone, for listening.